Hey old soul, just over a year ago I sold everything I owned in Australia and moved with my ex-husband and 3 kids to this beautiful land of Bali. Now I travel first class around the world, teaching people how to manifest their dream life. If you're ready to step into a paradigm that's so wild, so freeing, so abundant, then you're exactly where you need to be. Welcome. Good morning. It is such a beautiful day in sunny Bali. I believe now that we have I think it's new moon this morning, new moon. And this is a new season. This is where we get to transmute everything. This is where we get to really step into a new reality. And I'm really excited because you might notice that I'm always singing. I'm always clicking my fingers. I'm always moving to the rhythm of the beat, the rhythm of this life. And this is one of the universal laws that not many people speak of. This is a universal law that we forget. This is a universal law that really isn't taught in business. And it is wild, it is potent, it is so important to understand this law. And I'm gonna tell you very, very, very quickly in the next 5 minutes exactly how you can integrate this into your life, into your business, into the mastery of your creation, your wisdom, your magnetism, like just bringing this next level law into play. And I want you to think about it like this. Every single song has a rhythm. And this is probably the most obvious way to understand the law of rhythm. Every single song has a vibe, has a rhythm, has a move, has a groove, has a thing to it. You're not gonna hear a really heavy metal song that's like, insanely cussing with this beautiful classical soft beat because they're two different rhythms. However, sometimes we can use the duality of this 3D plane to kind of bring them together. And you've heard that done before. You've heard artists collaborate with other artists to create a beautiful piece of rhythmic melody that works because they're in sync with each other's vibrational signature, with each other's vibrational rhythm. Now, this is funny, and I was thinking about this the other day because I was like, okay, how the hell did I learn how to ride a scooter in Bali and touch wood, have not had any horrific accidents? And I was riding past the other day and I saw this guy who had fully skinned himself. And I was just like, okay, cool. Thank you, spirit guides, angels, everyone for protecting me, put my little energetic thing around me. And I was thinking about it and I was like, okay, riding a scooter in Bali has a rhythm. I understand the rhythm. There is a very in sync rhythm with the way that people ride their bikes in Bali versus how you would drive in Australia. And I travel a lot and I go back to Australia a lot for work. And last time I was in Australia, I got a hire car and I was like, this is a really different rhythm. And in order to live a life in sync that lights you up, that feels like you are completely and utterly soulfully aligned, you must know how to sync to the rhythm of the environment, to the rhythm of the world around you. Now, the funny thing about this is that this is the amateur level. This is the amateur level where we're trying to in sync to the rhythm of everything around us so that we're like, jiming to the music and we're like, yeah, I can do this, I can come into this, come into that, da 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 da. What the next level, the success level, the elevated level of who you are getting to be every single day is going, okay, cool. What is my rhythm? What is my rhythm? What is my melody? What is my soundtrack? And then through that soundtrack, you are becoming the rhythm. And everyone has to attune to you to get into your life, to get into your magnetism, to get into your essence, to get into your beautiful, beautiful energy. And so this is my question to you. What is your rhythm? And sometimes your rhythm is going to feel sped up and sometimes it's going to feel slowed down. And yes, we live in a world with so many universal laws where we're constantly moving and flowing. But when we lose who we are, we lose our rhythm. When we stop and we try to attune to everyone else and we're people pleasing and we're trying to do this and we're trying to do that, we are losing our rhythm. And when you know your rhythm, you are unstoppable. You are magnetic because you realize that you have a unique rhythm that shouldn't be compromised for anyone else's rhythm. And so, yes, we live in a 3D reality, and the amateur way of trying to attune to every single thing is like, okay, cool, I really desire this dream life. I'm going to attune to the rhythm of the dream life instead of going, okay, cool, that's the amateur way. I am the motherfucking rhythm. I am the soundtrack. I am the melody. Everything I'm seeing in my reality is me. It is an expression of me. And I get to experience more of me by attuning to the rhythm of me, to the soundtrack of my soul, to the beat of my drum, to knowing who I am in every single moment. I am the rhythm. I am the soundtrack. I am not out there trying to make everyone happy. I am not out there trying to jump around every motherfucker's triggers. And I'm doing this with love, and I'm not doing this from ego. I'm doing this by knowing that my rhythm and the soundtrack to my soul is the most powerful rhythm in this entire universe. And when I can attune to my rhythm and my beat and my melody and my drum and know exactly who I am and know what my soundtrack is and know what my soul came here to do, and there is no note that is left unturned. There is nothing out of sync. We've all heard a song that sounds so sweet, and then all of a sudden it goes off kilter and it goes off melody, and we're like, or the screech comes in. And yes, we're gonna have those moments when we're learning how to play keys and we're learning who we are and we're learning what our rhythm is. But the more that you can come back to truth and come back to peace and come back to love and come back to plugging into the soundtrack of your soul, the more you start to understand the law of rhythm. And as we're learning the law of rhythm and we're learning the energetics behind it, because this is such an energetic game. And the funny thing about this industry, and I hear so many people always saying negative things about the coaching industry, and I never will, because everyone's just doing their own beautiful thing in this world, and I think that's beautiful. But I think the most potent, powerful, important thing to realize is that we are not here to attune to other people's drums. We're here to attune to our own. And we get so lost chasing the dream and chasing the thing that we think will make us happy instead of realizing that we are the dream. The dreams that you hold so close to your heart are just you. They are just expressions of you on the big screen that we call life. And it is so beautiful and it is so magnificent because you are beautiful, because you are magnificent. And the whole journey is going, what is my rhythm? And my phone's about to fall over because it's like, your rhythm's off beat, girlfriend. It's finding your authentic rhythm, finding your authenticity, and not caring what anyone else has to say about it, because there'll be a million people that love you for your rhythm, a million people that hate you. Just like people don't like classical music or opera or a heavy metal, there's a million different people for a million different rhythms. But you have to find your rhythm, because this world operates on the law of rhythm. And if you don't know your rhythm, then you will not be able to walk out into the world and go, actually, that house vibrates really beautifully with my rhythm. And when we create a melody together, it's actually a vibe and it feels really good and it feels really in tune. Or when you realize that you're playing a rhythm of heavy metal and you're trying to interact with this classical beat and it's just really off kilter and it's not working, you know your rhythm and you know who you are and you know what the soundtrack to your soul is, so that you can create more melodies, so that you can co-create with this beautiful life and attune into your dreams deeper. Remember, the amateur version of tuning into the law of rhythm is feeling that you have to attune to everything in this reality. That is the amateur version. And we all go on that journey because we have to. It's part of the journey. It's the learning, the unlearning, the relearning. But when you start to get good at understanding the law of rhythm, you start to realize that it's your rhythm. And you are not going to compromise your rhythm for a rhythm that cannot interact with your rhythm and make the most beautiful melody in the entire universe. Only co-create with other people and the beautiful reality around you when it's with your rhythm. And if you don't know who you are and you spend every single day looking outside and wondering, what if I had this, what if I had that, instead of going, you know what? Actually, I love being by myself for hours a day, or actually I love networking. When you start to really understand what brings you a light, and this is especially for women, I will have a different rhythm straight after I've had my period versus when I'm going through my period. It's understanding your rhythm and the soundtrack and the depths of all that you are. And we go through this so beautifully, so deeply, so next level in my Bali retreat, which I'm so freaking excited for in March. And actually, next Friday is Black Friday. And so we're having a really epic sale. So if you're feeling the call to come to Bali and learn what your rhythm is and learn what the soundtrack of your soul is and learn where you can be creating next level magic. Because all this life is a soundtrack to your soul, expressed in physical form, expressed in quantum particles. And my God, isn't it beautiful? Isn't it magnificent? Isn't it just divine? Aren't we so freaking lucky, and we can just have a good time all the time? We're rhyming, we're poets, and we didn't even know it. So my loves, I hope you got so much out of this. I hope that this starts to plant the seed, because this is something that's never really spoken about. No one ever speaks about the law of rhythm. People never want to speak about the law of rhythm or the law of gestation. But these are such key, integral laws that govern this universe that are going to make or break your success. There's a reason that businesses that are successful have periods of harvest, periods of planting seeds, periods of growing and evolving. You cannot get pregnant, my friends, and have a baby the next day. That's not how it works. You cannot. You cannot plant a seed and expect the plant to fully bloom the next day. You cannot. There are many rules that govern this universe, and in order to harvest success, you must understand these universal laws, and that is how you get to live the best life in overflow, in love, in abundance, and the abundance never stops flowing. The air has never stopped coming since the second you were born till the last breath at the end of your life. That is the energy of abundance, the breath that we breathe every single day. So it's 11:11 and my phone is 77%, so I'm going to leave it there, old souls. I hope you have the most beautiful, magnificent, divine day. And if you're not on our mailing list and you would love to, please definitely join, because next Friday, Black Friday, is going to be a wild, wild, wild surprise. Probably the best sale I've ever done. And I just want to see you guys so much here in Bali with me. Like, just come and visit me in Bali. Seriously, this island is next level. It is absolutely next level. And oh my gosh, like, I'm checking out a villa next week, which I'm pretty sure is going to be the villa. It has a water slide in it. It has a water slide in it. So, and if you know me, you know that I love luxury. Love luxury, but I love the nice things. I love creating events that you remember for the test of time. So if you do feel the call, if you're feeling my soul pulling your soul, I cannot force you to do anything. My job is not to force you. You've always had all the power in the entire universe. You always know what's right for you. But if you feel the call, I'm inviting you to come in and just join me for a week that will change your entire life and change the trajectory of the beautiful unfolding of your soul, because all life is images of the mind expressed. That is all this beautiful reality is. Have the most phenomenal day. Be on your way. And I'm celebrating you and all of you. And I truly hope this video helped. Big love, all souls. Mwah.